Do me a favor, pull up, because I want to talk about somebody, and I want you to pull them up for me. Pull up the Angels staff.
Gotcha.
And the reason why I want to pull up the Angels staff is in a recent podcast episode, you and I were talking about Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
And I led the charge on the Ohtani thing, and I want to jump further on the bandwagon. I think that Shohei Ohtani is going to end up being that MVP.
Listen, so far, just based on his little spring training debut, the talent's there. He looks in mid-season form.
The thing that made me more aggressive and more bullish was I was watching something with CC Sabathia, and he was talking on a podcast, and he said that Shohei Ohtani is the best baseball player he's ever seen. So CC Sabathia, and they were like, he's like, the guy hits 900-foot home runs, and he throws 100 miles an hour. Who else can do that? That's exactly the point that I was making in that situation. And now since we did that episode, Ohtani has come out and he hit a dead center home run over a giant batter's eye, about 500 feet. And then he also has recently topped out over 100 miles an hour starting. He had 5 strikeouts, I think.
5 strikeouts in 2 innings.
In 2 innings pitched.
And his splitter looked ridiculous.
Oh my God, that's the best.
It's the best. It might be the best pitch in baseball.
His mechanics on his ability to throw right now are so stupid locked in, and he's so compact and small with everything. Like, there's not a lot of wasted. He's very here into a slot, and here it comes, and he throws his splitter with every intention that it is his 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And if he has that, he looks like Roger Clemens. He looks like Roger, and I would suspect because of how Japanese baseball is always like idolizes a decade or a generation earlier's players the way that they do. I have to think that somebody was looking at Roger Clemens when they showed him how to throw. And you have this big, strong dude who is absolutely going to dice people up. And I'm staying with the fact that he's going to hit 30-plus home runs this year. The Angels, to me, if we can look at their pitching staff, like that to me, I think he's MVP, and I think he's the best player on the Angels. Think about what I just said.
Okay, so hold on.
That means he's better than Mike Trout. I'm saying this out loud. Dennis is behind the camera. Like, he just said that.
Before we dabble into their pitching staff, I thought about our conversation more from last week after Ohtani showed up and went off. And I totally agree with you. Okay?
I like that I'm changing your mind.
Yes, absolutely. I was unsure because it was a very theoretical thing, but yes, he's got a lot of talent. I think it's there. Now, to your next point, is he the best player on the Angels if he does that stuff?
Yes.
Yes, specifically because he will also be the ace of their staff.
Which is exactly my point.
Their staff is super average. I'm not going to lie to you.
So who do they got outside of Ohtani?
Dylan Bundy, who throws batting practice.
Wow, Dylan Bundy. Hope he's not a fan. Hope he's not a fan of the show.
Sorry,
throws
Dylan.
batting practice.
Dylan, I'm sorry, man.
Our bad, Dylan.
Watch your film against the Yankees last year.
Wow.
Jose Quintana, Andrew Heaney, Griffin Canning, Alex Cobb.
I have never, honestly. I mean, I know I don't know every player in the league. I know nobody on that list.
Alex Cobb is a similar to Dylan Bundy kind of guy. Jose Quintana's not bad, and then Andrew Heaney, Griffin Canning, they're okay guys. I watched them a little bit, but Shohei Ohtani, and then there's kind of a fall-off, which is usually the Angels' MO. Their pitching staff usually lacks depth, which is why they can't get to that next level and make it to the postseason, and they have to rely on Trout to get them there, who has not done that. So I'm very interested to see what Shohei Ohtani does.
We know they have Rendon. We know they have Trout. It's going to be that Ohtani was the missing piece to some degree because you haven't gotten to see that lineup with those three together full-time healthy. So if you're going to get a full-time healthy version of that, you've got a murderer's row in your lineup of guys who can just absolutely torch it. Who's your, are you going to, I think they're going to end up having Rendon possibly hit second, then having Trout hit third, and then having Ohtani hit fourth. And I could see that world because I think the high batting average with Rendon when he's on and he's locked in.
Yeah.
His power is great, but the league has shifted to having a guy like that hit second, so he gets more bats.
I think that's great.
So he gets more bats, and you have his bat in the lineup more in the game. You don't worry so much about the base paths. I don't feel like with how much raw ability Trout has, you're going to move him to second. You're gonna have him be behind Rendon, and that'll also provide Rendon protection. And then Ohtani's going to be there in a situation where he's got ducks on the pond, and a guy can't walk him, right? Because if those two guys are on, he is going to get like 40 yayas, and they're going. And on top of that, the way he looks right now, I'm so bullish on Ohtani. Like I'm jumping out in front.
Yeah.
And Ohtani to me MVP this year.
Yeah, it's honestly pretty stupid watching him.
It's coming.
It's ridiculous.
It's coming. He's like, you watch more and more of the games, and you recognize more and more what we're about to witness. The dude came in from Japan, and in his first season had a 900 plus OPS, and his ERA was stellar. And now you're saying that we have a more developed version of him, age 26, entering into the prime years of baseball, in a lineup that is better than he's ever hit in. Ohtani's got like this. I'm getting Ohtani drunk now because I look at that and I go, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I hope he puts up something stupid. Now, how does Mike Trout handle that?
I mean, I don't think
we know how he handles it. He's just quiet. He doesn't say anything.
He's just quiet. Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He's still going to go out and be a stud. I hope that elevates his game more so to the point where maybe now they're like talking about playoffs and things like that.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be carried by their offense and Ohtani. But again, if Ohtani is taking what is supposed to be a meh staff, and he comes out and is an ace level guy, right? And he's out there absolutely hammering baseballs over the wall. I'm telling you, I'm gonna lose my ish on this show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell everybody that I am the oracle of baseball lifestyle, and I know all that is happening, everything that is happening. I can't believe their pitching staff is that bad.
No, it's always been average. They've never had.
But that's not even just average. Like even getting Quintana, like the dude's a 4 ERA guy. Like that was your big move, was to go out and get him. And like I get it. I don't know which teams have money and who can do what and who can go where, and like did they have the money to invest into something like that? Probably not. So like, but develop a guy.
Yeah. Well, that was honestly one of the big headlines over this offseason, was that the Angels did nothing. They didn't really move anybody that was like, hey, this is going to change our lineup.
And I think that's like guys are being quiet, like owners are being quiet, because I think some of it's their ego. They're like, I don't want to talk about the fact that maybe I don't have the money. Right?
Yeah, right.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
The Cubs were out here like, hey, we might be interested in trading some people. The Indians just flat out were like, here's everyone.
Yep.
Goodbye. Right? Bauer signing is getting them a first-round pick, right? So they're going to get a first-round pick for Bauer moving on, right? They trade away Lindor, right? They have all, like, Carrasco gone. They dumped and they got off of their book something the ballpark like $60 million.
Yep.
They straight up were like, bye. We're going to completely reset our whole team, start back at the beginning. Genius.
Yeah, no, great idea. And they got some good pieces in the Mets trade.
And then you have yes, and we talked about that. I think that they're going to surprise as a team in general. Again, shout out Tristan McKenzie. I think that they're going to have more than people expect, and I think that they will be competitive in an overall weak division.
Yes.
But my Angels, man, you guys got to help Ohtani. Save Ohtani. Whatever you can do. Whatever you can do, please save Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Baseball lifestyle. It's my lifestyle.